Welcome to the D Expert podcast, where we will be discussing on recent markets and finance related topics. So, today we're diving into the aftermath of Trump's recent victory and the impact it's having on markets and economic policies. Now, as we look beyond the election, we're seeing potential shifts in key areas like trade, inflation, and even investor sentiment. So to break it all down, we've joined by our two top analysts, Asado and June, who will be helping us navigate this dynamic landscape. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, now we know that elections often bring some level of market volatility, but this time there was a lot of anticipation and even apprehension around a Trump's win. So, from stocks to bonds to even crypto, we've seen both expected and surprising reactions. So, what do you guys think are the key market moves that have emerged so far? And in your view, how much of this was already priced in versus purely reactionary?
Bitcoin is still rising.
Yes,
Even now.
that's the
Still
main one.
rising.
Bitcoin's still rising. Exactly. I think a part of it was priced in already, and another part is reactionary. That's why we saw the stock market rallying this much,
Yeah.
and finally reached the 6,000 S&P. The S&P reached the 6,000 mark, and Bitcoin of course nearly $100,000 for the first time. But I think it has still much more potential going forward into the next year, especially. And of course, there are like a bit of worry around Trump's policies, like the
Yeah.
tariffs and the tax cuts, which could potentially expand the deficit. But at the same time, there are some positive things, like the new department, DOGE, government efficient, the
Yeah.
Department of Government Efficient, which is led by Elon Musk and Vivek. So yeah, a lot of good and bad things. So
I think we can see in besides Bitcoin is still moving up.
yeah,
Yeah, obviously this one is supported by fundamentals because Elon Musk and Trump obviously he's supporting, especially with Elon Musk. He's the Dodge ambassador kind of
Yeah.
person, very supportive on crypto, which is what explains the move upwards, and it's staying. The momentum is staying there. But of course, there's also other stocks that is obviously reactionary. For example, DJT. Yeah. Although recently they suggested to buy to get into the brokerage, crypto brokerage business. We will see what happens then. Yeah. So another thing, even DJT getting into a new business is still related to crypto. Yeah.
yeah, it's short term. I think it's short term.
Yeah, so-
because it's a bit overvalued, DJT right now.
It was always overvalued
Yeah, yeah.
because the company
It's a bit
wasn't
more
doing anything.
overvalued.
Yeah.
Okay,
The company isn't doing much.
Yeah, it doesn't
so-
make profit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump has also consistently promoted his vision of boosting economic growth through like tax cuts, reducing regulation, and reinvigorating manufacturing jobs. So it's a familiar agenda, but in today's economy, implementing these changes could look a bit different. So now, as we look at potential policy shifts, which sectors do you guys think are likely to benefit most, and where might we see some early pressure or downside?
Oh, okay.
I think you're very supportive on certain sectors.
Yeah. Exactly. So, like, for me, the main sectors are the energy, because we know Trump and his drill, baby, drill motto. And also the financials, which are the big banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. Those are the most beneficial from his policies, tax cut policies especially. Also, we need to focus on the pharmaceuticals sector, because now we are seeing, since Trump got elected, we are seeing the sector under pressure, mainly because RFK, Robert Kennedy, is going to be on top or in charge of this pharmaceutical sectors. And they are scared, investors are scared because of the uncertainty and what he's gonna do, because so I think these are the main sectors that I look for and I'm focusing on in the coming year. So yeah, if you want to add anything.
I think for policy side, definitely there will be sectors that will be supported by this policy. But in the end of the day, what I'm thinking is the companies themselves should be able to perform on their own instead of relying on the policies, because the policies is just a supporting factor for them. So for instance, when we are recording this podcast, Nvidia just released their quarterly report. So as we can see, although their earnings is still going very good, the trend is still there, but their guidance wasn't that good and their margins wasn't that good as well. At least it's not to say not good, at least they are not up to expectations.
Yeah.
So even if Trump or the new government's policy were to be very supportive of the tech sector, obviously they will be. But if the companies themselves they can't perform, Blackwell, they couldn't produce it on as quickly as they wanted to, and also the margin problem that they have. It's any policy that the government has is not going to help on this, because they can't take advantage of it. Yeah.
And there's one stock it's not a sector, it's only one stock, which is Tesla, that I think we should focus on in the next year. I think next year, with my predictions, crazy predictions, but next year I can see Tesla doing new all-time highs easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay.
So
Note on
that's
that.
only that's not a financial advice. Disclaimer, yeah. So I think Tesla,
look out on the reports
especially
from these companies.
Elon Musk being the government and everything involved. So
do you think the new policy or even Tesla is gonna as in other EV companies are gonna get affected because of Tesla?
It is a good, it is a nice question, and it's a sympathy play. That's what happens, but not as much as Tesla. Especially we can see them in the small cap arena, forgot the name, but like small caps, like $2, $3, $4 stocks that can be pumped because of Tesla, but they're gonna be dump the usual routine, but Tesla is gonna lead the way for sure. Yeah, for sure.
All right. And we've also seen a lot of speculation about how Trump's policy might influence the US dollar, especially in relation to inflation and interest rates. And with Trump's views on interest rates and a history of weighing in Fed policies, we might see some unique dynamics during his term, this 4-year term. So could you guys give us a sense of how this win could shape the dollar's trajectory and what might mean for inflationary trends in the near term?
I think on the dollar, obviously Trump is always pro-dollar. He wanted it to strengthen. But on the other hand, if this happens, that means his policy is gonna make inflation rise, right? But if inflation were to rise, then that means the Fed is gonna do something which is something that we can see recently. Jerome Powell, he has turned hawkish. He has turned more hawkish as compared to before when Trump wins the election. So obviously the market has reacted. Projections has pushed back on the next rate cut.
We're gonna have one in December though.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's not confirmed.
It
80%
was,
or 70%.
Before the election, the probability is very high. But then after Jerome Powell speaks,
now lower. Okay.
Then it's a different story now.
Okay.
Yeah. So some projected that it may become next year in January, so 1 month later than December. Yeah.
Okay.
So on this, the dollar, even by this, when the Fed talks about this, we can feel that he is also thinking that inflation will be high. Yeah.
Uh, at the same time, we need to remember that stronger dollar. Yeah, Trump wants that. At the same time, he doesn't want too strong. Because I remember in 2016, when he got elected, and the Fed was also the same chairman, Powell, was raising interest rates at the time from 0 or 0.5, whatever. It was so they were in a bullish cycle of raising rates, and the dollar was getting stronger. And then I remember Trump tweeted that the dollar is too strong. And after that, I remember because I was trading, so that's why it's in my memory. So after that, the dollar started to, the next day or something gapped down, and it started to trend down, grinding slowly, not like crashing, no.
Yeah.
But I remember it was around 100, above a bit, and then it went to low 90s, and I think 80, 88, 89, it found
That's
support.
What, DXY.
Yeah, the XY.
Okay.
So maybe something similar can happen. Now we are seeing the dollar is very strong because of the anticipation, what he just said. But something might change because we know Trump how he is. He's not like passive. He's very active in those kind of things. So expect a lot of volatility. That's what we can say, and expect to adapt to the market, because on one day we're gonna be, the dollar is bullish. The next day, anything can happen. maybe we can turn to bearish. So,
but I think at least now Jerome Powell, he has the room to lower down rates, because
exactly.
The rates has been high for quite a long time.
Exactly, this is different cycle.
It's a different situation as back in 2016. Yeah.
Okay, and as we know, gold recently hit an all-time high in October this year.
Yeah.
How has gold performed since the election, and what are the key factors influencing its recent downturn?
Asado is still having his $3,000
Yes.
target.
Still being positive
I
about
still
it.
can see it in my dreams.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come.
$3,000. So I still see it, and it's in a bullish trend, even though this drop happened. And this drop was mainly for me, it was
a transition.
a transition.
Yeah.
It's a money flow from one asset to another.
Yeah, because now we have obviously two types of reserve.
Exactly. There's the war between which reserve or which currency or which is better. I think both are important.
Yes.
And so
Let me ask, what are your views, both of your views on these two reserves? Do you see it happening? Is Bitcoin actually gonna?
Well, according to Trump, yeah.
I think both of these, the Federal Reserve, they have, I mean, even Kashkari, he recently turned more, he used to, in the last election, Kashkari, he's against crypto, but this time his tone changed a little bit. He changed a little bit. But he was saying that crypto has no usage, right? But Go, there's usage, right? No, you can find it in your devices in a lot of places. But I think for crypto, right, it has a bit of the same tone as with fiat currency. Fiat is backed by.
But fiat is inflationary and Bitcoin is deflationary.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that is true. But fiat is backed by trust, right? Trust on the government.
Trust on the government.
Yeah. So
faith of the government.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. As long as there's faith in whichever crypto, obviously right now is Bitcoin. As long as the faith is there, that means the value is there.
Yeah, of course.
So it's kind of different from Go. Go is obviously the usage and the limits that.
And throughout history, they always used gold as money, as a currency.
Yes.
Before fiat and everything.
Yeah. So as long as the faith is there, obviously we can see right now Trump is giving a lot of faith into Bitcoin, which is what explaining the rise in
sudden
Bitcoin.
rise. Yeah.
If one day the faith wasn't there anymore, things are gonna change immediately. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Anything
So,
can change.
Yeah. So it's going back to with faith. whoever that supports it, then the value will be there.
But
yeah.
both of them are important, equally
Yeah.
important for me.
Important
can't-
for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't go without the physical, just trust and
Yeah.
Bitcoin,
A
and
digital.
without we can't trust only the gold without the, because in this modern world we need the digital aspect in
We're
our lives also.
transitioning into
So I think we need both, and they're gonna stay with us for a long term.
Yeah, it's just
That's what I
the,
see.
the weight, because for the past few hundred years people have been reserving in gold, but right now
Yeah.
suddenly there's something new to reserve, which is why we can
Yes.
see the transition, the rapid transition
Yeah.
into Bitcoin.
Very
which-
rapid.
Yeah.
And I think above 100,000 it's gonna be even faster.
Yeah. Even
Like,
now,
it's relatively faster, yes, of course.
yeah, you know
But
in,
the numbers mean nothing. Like $1,000
Exactly. It's just
would
a
become
number.
like $100
Yeah.
now. You know, it's boop, 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 boop.
Yes, you know,
Volatility.
prices of asset. Whenever there's a strong fundamental support, and if there wasn't any resistance in the price,
Yeah.
it's gonna shoot up very fast.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and Bitcoin is always making all-time high because there's no resistance on
Always.
top at all. Yeah,
But and always it pulls back around 80%.
on what?
Bitcoin, the price.
What do you mean 80%? Pull back 80%?
Yeah, pull back. I mean, from the top.
Uh-huh.
Like it reaches like 20K and goes down to 5K.
Ah, okay.
And it reaches 60K, goes down to 15, 18K. That's 80%.
But I think back then it was quite different. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there wasn't.
But this will only happen if we hit a recession or deflationary
Yes,
period.
exactly. Yeah.
Then for sure,
Yeah.
that will be an amazing opportunity to whoever doesn't have Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin when deflation hits.
Yeah.
We'll wait. We'll
That will
see
be
if
the
that
last.
happens.
That will be the last opportunity
And we
to buy.
will be letting you know when that
Yeah.
happens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Follow us for more. Thank you very much.
Well, so as we've heard, Trump's win isn't just another election result, it could be the start of significant economic and policy changes, with ripple effects that may shape investor strategies for months and even years. So, Asado and June, thank you both for giving those helpful insights, and to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and follow to our podcast for more in-depth discussions on the world of finance. And if you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share, do leave a comment below. Remember, stay informed, stay ahead, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.